Hello guys. So in this video we'll see how we can use a servo motor with Arduino. So what is a servo motor? What is a servo motor? So as the name suggests, a servo motor is a kind of motor in which you can vary the angle. So in this servo motor, the restriction is of 180-degree angle. So you can move this motor only by 180 degrees. So that is 0 to 180 degree and from 180 degree back to 0. So it can just move by 180 degree. The freedom of motion is just 180 degree. So how is it that this motor works? And so if you can see this image, so this is a small chip that is a control circuit what it is having integrated, and with that it has a small DC motor connected. So the reason why it is restricted because of the power supply that is limited. So from Arduino the max you can give is 5-volt power supply. So that is why it can just move for 180 degree, and it has a small 60 rpm torque. It doesn't have any high rpm and very high torque. It is having a normal and medium range torque. So we'll see how we can use this servo motor in order to control 180-degree motion. Okay, so coming to the sensors part, what are the components required for this experiment? You require one servo motor, you require some 3 jumpers, and you require just one Uno. So we do not require any breadboard or anything as such. So these are the things that we require for this experiment. Now coming to the connection part, what are the connection that we need for this? So it's a very simple 3-wire connection again. So you can see again the black goes to the ground, red goes to VCC, and yellow goes to your pin where you will be giving the value. Yes, but the color in actual for the servo motor varies. Okay, it is actually orange, red, and brown. So brown means ground, it should go to the ground. Red means it should go to your VCC 5-volt, and the orange, yellowish orange pin, that goes to your signal or data pin. So let's do the connection here. So here you can see this will be connected to ground. Then next it will be connected, my bad, next we'll have this wire connected to 5-volt of Arduino. Yes, and then the final is the signal pin, which will be connecting to, we can connect to any PWM pin, so we'll be connecting it to pin number 9. So this is much the connection. It's a simple 3-wire connection, VCC, ground, and your signal pin. So same thing we'll be doing it here in the hardware part. So here I have brown pin. So as I said here, the brown color pin goes to ground of Arduino, and then I have red pin that will go to 5-volt VCC, and then I have the orangish yellow pin that will go to pin number 9 of my Arduino. So this is all a simple 3-wire connection. Now how do we write the program? So initially we'll write that this servo motor will be at 0 degree, and from 0 degree it has to move to 180 degree, and from 180 degree it should come back to 0 degree. So this is the program we'll be writing. Now there is a one small trial and error method what we should do in order to get the 0 degree for this, and then based on that we have to write the program. So coming back to the software part, so you have to include a library. So the library is servo.h. So you don't need to download any zip file or anything. It is already present in your library folder. So you just have to include this servo.h, and then I have to create an instance. So from this servo, I'll create an instance called as my servo. Yeah. So this is the instance, or you can say object what I have created. Okay. So now what I'll do is I have to say which pin I'll be using for servo, right? So for us it is pin number 9. So for this instance, my servo, I will use a method called as attach. So here I'll give the pin where I'm attaching data. Either you can give it directly or you can create a variable servo pin in which I can give 9, and then this I can give as an input. So from here you are telling which pin you are using in order to get the data or the angle for rotation. Now coming to for loop part, and here we'll write my servo dot right. So right is nothing but moving by angle, so I'll say 0. That means it will move to angle 0. So initially in the setup part it will move the angle to 0. Now coming to the loop part, I'll write the program that from 0 it rotates till 180 degree, and from 180 degree it rotates back to your 0 degree. Yes. So what I'll do is I'll create an variable called as int of angle. Okay. Now this angle, then I'll put it in a for loop equals 0. I will be lesser than your, sorry, I'll say angle, then angle is equal to 0. Then I'll say angle will be lesser than or equal to 180 degree. In fact, I'll say lesser than, let's not go till the last 180, and then I'll say angle plus plus, so it keeps incrementing by 1. Yes. So this is the for loop to iterate from 0 to 180 degree, and every time it does, I'll say my servo dot right. So you have to write angle, that is initially it will be 0, then 1, then 2, then so on up to 180 degree. After that I'll give a small delay so that you guys can see the motion of the servo, so it moves a bit slow. Now I need to reverse this for loop. Now I have to get angle is equals to, I'll say it is 180 degree, then my angle should be greater than or equal to 0 degree, and I'll say angle minus minus, so it will keep decrementing by 1 degree. Yes. So every time it does this, I'll say my servo dot right, and I'll say angle, so it will keep decrementing, and then I'll give a small delay so that you can see the motion of the servo. If you will see this motor torque moving. So this is regarding your software part, a simple program. So here I'm writing 0 to 180, and here I'm writing 180 to 0. Yes. So when you're going, the max you can go is 180. If you try to forcefully move this above 180 degree, then this might break, so you should be careful with that. So that is all with the hardware and software part. So now I can go power up my Arduino. I can verify if the code is correct and upload it. So first I'll go and verify tools and port. So yes, it's correct. So I'll just go and quickly upload it. So when I'm uploading it, as you know, it compiles and then it will upload automatically. So once it's uploaded, then we'll see first this moves to 0 degree, and then you see it goes back to 180 degree, and then it comes back. So you're seeing this. So with this you can give different degree of motion. So instead of 0, you directly want to go to 40 90 degree, or you want to go 180 degree, or you just want to move 45 degree angle, or you just want to move 10 degree angle. So those things you can do using this servo motor. So here instead of 0 to 180, you can give 0 to 90. So this will move only 90 degree. If you give 90 to 0 back, it will come back to the position. So this is how you can use your servo motor in order to get. So you can see here it's moving 0 to 180, and after that it is using the second for loop to come back from 180 degree to 0 degree. You can see this movement. Now the reason why you are able to see this smooth, because I've given a small delay of 15 milliseconds. Yes. So if you give a delay of 1 second, then you will see this will be even more slow. So the movement will be very slow. So you can go ahead and you can try, you can give various values. You can try, go ahead and try various value and try different value and check the working of servo motor.